Masters by Brian L. Weiss in partnership with Abhimanyu Wellness Foundation. Many Lives, Many Masters by Brian L. Weiss is an engaging true story of a prominent psychiatrist, his young patient, and the past life therapy that changed both their lives. This book is groundbreaking work on past life regression therapy. This book has so many layers and levels that we would like to explore and discuss, and that is why we have invited Colonel Aman Bedi to facilitate this session for us. Colonel Bedi is a motivational speaker, certified life coach, and a master trainer. And and he also does past life regression therapy, hypnotherapy, Reiki, and prana healing. Before we move ahead, I'd like to introduce all of you to Sipping Thoughts. Sipping Thoughts is a multi-platform media company co-founded by Sukirti Gupta and Meeta Gudgutia. It was set up keeping in mind the tagline, Real Women, Real Thoughts. We are a space for real women to share their real thoughts and be heard, a no judgment platform where we want to create a network of women for women. And coming to Abhimanyu, Abhimanyu is a wellness foundation, a non-for-profit organization that brings you experience that support your physical and emotional well-being. They curate programs to promote holistic well-being, natural healing, mindfulness, personal growth, learning, and development. And before we begin, I'd like to share something with all the attendees. We will be keeping everyone's audio on mute while the guest is speaking to make sure that there are no audio disturbances. We wish to keep this meet interactive, so please use the chat box to share comments and questions for our guests. We will unmute you and ask you to share your thoughts with us and Colonel Bedi. So with this, I'd like to hand over to Mamta, who runs the world of Abhimanyu. So Mamta, on to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Sujata. Thank you, Meeta. Thank you, Sipping Thoughts. It's always such a pleasure to be here. A very warm welcome to everyone who has joined us today. And I extend a very, very warm welcome to Colonel Bedi, a man of many avatars, army man, then corporate trainer, and then on the unlikely path of becoming a hypnotherapist and healer. What a journey. And so this book will resonate with a lot of people in relation to Colonel Bedi's own life as well. So after serving with the Indian Army for 21 years, Colonel Bedi entered the corporate world for a new beginning. Having experienced all facets of the corporate as well as running his own business, there was a realization along the way on how disconnected we human beings are from the real world. To understand as to what drives the human psyche and the human brain, he did MA in psychology and became a certified coach as well as a master trainer and facilitator. He also realized that the mind was very powerful, and to get better understanding of its influences, he did past life regression therapy, hypnotherapy, Reiki, and prana healing. His quest for answering and seeking questions beyond logical reasoning took him on the journey of absorbing spiritual dimension of higher knowledge, which made him realize that the world as we perceive it is in fact an illusion. He is now using these healing modalities to great effect. He's also curing OCD patients through cognitive drill therapy and relieving many decluttering their negative energy dynamics, pursuing the path of healing, helping corporates train the employees for life with purpose, which goes beyond just meeting goals and zealously devoting time as a motivational speaker. This has become an integral part of his soul's blueprint. Thank you so much again, Colonel Bedi, for taking out time and joining us today.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for making me part of this journey of the book club that Abhimanyu and Sipping Thoughts have started, and I'm very happy to be here. Thank you so much.
So I'd like to start the discussion by asking the first question to Colonel Bedi. We'd like to know your thoughts on Many Lives, Many Masters and your personal experience with the topics that have been picked by the book, like past life regression and hypnotherapy.
Yes, absolutely. So let me start by, I have this book right here with me. And it says that it's a true story of a prominent psychiatrist, his young patient, and the past life therapy that changed both their lives. It's a very interesting read. So before I really start discussing, let me give you a rundown on this book, a quick rundown on this book. So Dr. Brian Weiss was a traditional physiotherapist. He graduated from Columbia University, Yale Medical School, spent years in disciplined study of human psychology, training his mind to think like a scientist and a physician. He held steadfastly to the conservatism often in his profession, distrusting anything that could not be proved by traditional scientific methods. So that was really the background of Dr. Weiss. Then in 1980, he met a 27-year-old patient, Catherine, who came to his office seeking help for her anxiety, panic attacks, and phobias. Now, at that time, when she came to see Dr. Brian Weiss, she found herself emotionally paralyzed and less able to function. She was terrified and understandably depressed. For 18 months, Dr. Weiss used conventional methods of treatment on her and tried to help her overcome her traumas. Nothing seemed to work. Then he tried hypnosis. So while he was doing hypnosis, Dr. Weiss was taken aback at what unfolded in the therapy sessions and jolted him out of his conventional psychiatric thinking. For the first time, he came face to face with the concept of reincarnation and many tenets of the so-called Eastern religions, which he says in the last chapter of the book, I thought only Hindus practiced. So this miracle began to happen as Catherine slipped from one life into another, which she recounted with fair amount of vivid detail. So Catherine, in a series of trance-like states, recalled past life memories that proved to be causative factors for recurring nightmares, anxiety attack symptoms. She vividly recalled the details of each birth, her name, her family, physical appearances, the landscape, and how she was killed by stabbing, by drowning, or illness. And in each lifetime, she experienced myriad events. And there she was started making progress to fulfill all the agreements and all the karmic debts that she had owed. And she started getting well, and to an extent that she became absolutely fine. And Dr. Weiss' skepticism was further eroded when she began to channel messages from the master, the time, the space lies between lives. And that really, the time when she talked about his family, his father, his son, that was really something which was, for him, it was absolutely amazing. But because he'd never experienced this and he didn't know where it was all coming from. The profound messages which were remembered and retained, they helped both Catherine and Brian Weiss' life catapulted into a completely different area. And it was something which was fantastic that happened. So this, in brief, is what this book is all about. And when you ask me that, how do I relate to this book? And what happened to me in my personal life, I would like to read something from the book which I very closely resonate with. And I'm reading it from page 140. And here it says that we go through so many stages when we are here. We shed a baby's body. We go into from a child to an adult into old age. Why should we go one step further and shed the adult body and go into the spiritual plane? That is what we do. We don't just stop growing. We continue to grow. When we get into the spiritual plane, we keep growing there too. Now, I'll just explain to you what really is the earth plane and the spiritual plane, and what does he mean by all of this. We go through different stages of development. When we arrive, we are burnt out. When we arrive to the spiritual plane. So the spiritual plane really is our home, and the earth plane is a school. So we come here to learn. And from here, when we arrive there back home, we are burnt out. We have to go through a renewal stage, a learning stage, and a stage of decision. Very profound stage of decision. We decide. We are deciding everything. We have to decide when we want to return. Our time of return is, we have decided that. Where to return? We choose our parents. Where do we want to go? Which life do we want to lead? We have chosen that. And for what reasons? What karmic debts we want to sort out in this life? We have what type of life we want, what challenges we're going to want, we're going to get in this life. I have decided it. Some choose not to come back. They choose to go on into another stage of development, and they stay in the spirit form. Some for longer than others before they return. It's all growth and learning. So you're growing there also, you're growing here also. But in the earth plane, since it's all experiential learning, the growth is much faster. A body is just a vehicle for us while we are here. It's our soul and our spirit that lasts forever. Very profound. It's amazing. It's really amazing. And this is something which I really resonate with. And the challenges that I had in my life when I left the army, and what I went through after I left the army, where I was, there was a stage in my life where I didn't have money to have food on the table, to a time where everything wasn't so much plentiful. There was absolutely no dearth, which is continuing even today, because I consider myself one of the happiest, or the happiest man in the world. So it's really something which there are higher powers at play. Absolutely no question about it. There's a fantastic system in the so perceived madness around us.
Wonderful, wonderful. But Colonel Mehdi, there's also has always been a lot of skepticism around the book, whether it's really a true story, whether things like this actually happen. Do our past lives have the level of impact that's implied, and on our present lives? And so I would like you to address that.
Yes, I would. Now, I don't blame people to doubt whether past life is really there or not, or has this book been it's been very well marketed, and the main behind of this book was something which was a marketing gimmick, and just to sell this book. I want to say that this book has been marketed very well, and I'm so grateful for the people who have marketed this book. Undoubtedly, it's been marketed very well. However, marketing can take this book only to a certain stage or a certain state. Beyond that, there has to be something in this book, and for people to resonate with this book. And somewhere or the other, people have been resonating with this book. We buy so many books and we keep it in our shelves, but there are certain books which find a special place in our homes. Well, this is one of that book. And why this book became so popular? Why is it that everyone started connecting with this book? There is some energy working here. There is a subconscious mind of everyone which is connected and taking us to this book. Now, in this book, he mentions that especially when Catherine talked about once she leaves her body and goes into the spirit world, she says that I see two people there who come to receive me. One is your father and one is your son. And Brian Weiss, it was not the Google world, and you could not Google your doctor. And this information was not even known to most of his friends, close friends, best friends. The type of information she gave out, the name of the father, it was the Jewish name and the Christian name or the Western name that they kept. The son, the daughter's name was kept on the grandfather's name, and all of that, and how the son died in 10 million disease. And she gave out everything in complete detail, and she had no way to find that out. And that really set the ball rolling as far as Dr. Weiss is concerned. I personally have I do past life here, and And I've personally had experiences where people have gone into past life and given such vivid accounts where they've talked about the addresses of that place, the exact date, the events that have unfolded, and they're not history students. And they've given me information. Yeah, yes.
When Catherine, in the book, Catherine remembers a lifetime in 1863 BC. You know, how could you have known it was BC? Like, you know, that's why, like, we have a lot of this skepticism. And I know we have Andre here with us to share a true life experience today. But it's uncanny, like, you know, how, not uncanny is not the right word, but, you know, like, to know the exact time when you've been there in the past.
Yes. So I'd like to get Andre in here. So before Andre comes in, I'll just answer this question on the BC. In answer to this question as to how Catherine, who, if I remember correctly, was a Rhonda in the previous lifetime in which she was talking about this, and the date that she had given there was 1863 BC. Now, in hypnosis, the person is the observer as well as the person is experiencing. So he's observing and experiencing at the same time, the person who's hypnotized. So how hypnotism works is, so the conscious mind is always aware of what you're experiencing while you're hypnotized. Despite the deep subconscious contact, your mind can comment, criticize, and censor. So in hypnotism, or when the person is hypnotized, the conscious mind is always awake. That is why the conscious mind can hear you, it can speak, it can talk to you, it can feel. And in my sessions, most of the time, or quite a few times, when people come out of that trance, they say that I didn't feel like I was in a hypnotic state. That's absolutely fine. That's how it's supposed to be. Your mind is always aware and observing. That is why people who may be deeply hypnotized and actively involved in a childhood or a past life sequence of memories are able to answer my questions, speak the current life language, and know the geographical details of the present and of that. So
I have goosebumps as I listen to you.
So it's and now let's get Andre in, because yes, he has some amazing experiences that he can share in his past life, which he visited.
Welcome, Andre. Please share with us your personal experience here.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for inviting me, and thank you, Colonel Betty, for giving this opportunity to share what I have experienced. So the main thing that you are fully awake. This is the main thing. And I think that the difference between the book and what I have experienced with Amanji is that you touch that subconscious level of your psyche first. And you are trying to identify what is exactly required in this particular incarnation, let's put it like that. Catherine was traveling here and there. She was touching what is required, and it is even mentioned that something was, frankly speaking, unrequired for that. So the ecology of your regressional therapy is in identifying what exactly is needed for your life mission right now. So, and here comes the answer that it is basically doesn't matter, is it real or is it just, you know, a model. So this is the therapy. And if you feel that subjective truth kind of feeling, if you can understand that what is happening is feelable like you, and it is sourceful for you, you will not raise the questions further because it's happening naturally, organically. So you're more whole, more integrated after that, after the therapy than before. So first of all, this is memories. So you're not going through something, you know, real. So you're going through memories. So again, it can be the model. In the Buddhist teaching, it is basically claimed that doesn't matter whether it is something real or something irreal. So if you go through that, if you're ready to acquire some additional source, you will go through that. You will get these access in this incarnation. This is the idea behind this. So I'm not torturing myself whether it is real or it's not. So I think that there are, of course, plenty of personal things when you're going through this experience. But let me start, I think, from I have recalled 6 incarnations. So let me just touch upon the first and the last one, because the rest of my incarnations, which are multiple, of course, are just not required in this life. So the first one was about the time of Ottoman Empire. But I was an outcomer. I was the guy from a wealthy family of Northern Africa, something like Tunisia. Now, so who went for a service to the Ottoman Empire to Istanbul. So he went well, but the main thing that his main family trauma was his, of course, background. Let's put it like that. He had a very wealthy but very moral father who was running a whorehouse. So, and his whole business was about enslaving the nearest tribes, taking some females into that slavery, and then basically running that business this way. So, and one of the enslaved aristocrats was my mother, who was pretty religious. So, and that disguise to what's happening there. That went my then incarnation to the whole denial of bodily level. So sexually, sensually, whatsoever. So, and it was the main mistake, because the Sultan, he proposed me a good marriage. So I denied to go for that. So I denied to go for that. And I was blamed as a traitor. So as a traitor, so and I should be hanged. But the guy who should have been doing that, he was one of my army guys. So, and he did not do that, but he beheaded me, which is kind of honorable type of death that time for an officer. So, and that feeling of, you know, being easy after that, it helped me in understanding why I am very attentive to what I think. I'm very attentive to what I consume, you know, informationally. But I will tell you that my attention to my body after that, so to that bodily level, it has grown dramatically.
Wow.
So, and the last incarnation that I have recalled, it was something like Mohenjo-Daro time. So, yeah, I was a boy, and I was a talented in math, basically. So I was trying to count everything. So, and I was trying to count the number of teeth of a bull. And that's how I died, age 6. This is the thing. So, but what is sourceful for me in this incarnation, that I'm not good at numbers. And that mental blockage, it disappeared, because I cannot tell that I'm bad at math, not really. So I'm just not comfortable when I deal with numbers. So in this pre-incarnative experience, it was pretty sourceful for me in this regard. Most likely it is the model, maybe. So most likely it is just the level of your subconscious mind. We can completely ignore the spiritual level. We can completely ignore even the factual level, because I'm still not sure who was, you know, the Sultan. It was Murad III or Mehmed III, someone from this period. But who is the guy? I'm not sure. So it doesn't matter.
Question for you, Andre, from
yeah.
audience. Ritu Kapoor is asking. She's asking, Andre, what led you to go into past life regression therapy? Was it just curiosity, or something happened in your life, or what made you take that step?
Good question. Thank you. In short, so I'm a guy working in India. So my very Western background, let's put it this way, had nothing to do with Asia, but I was completely overwhelmed by what is happening here, including some spiritual practices.
Years?
I was very into the spiritual practices.
Okay.
So and I was trying to, you know, to touch what I can touch here. So and that's how I found out that Colonel Mambedi having his sessions for past life regressions. So I was trying with some meditative therapy. So beforehand, I tried some Osho techniques. It worked well. So I was step by step approaching to the more integrated way of life, more integrated and more sourceful way of life.
So, it was more, so as I understand, it was more out of curiosity and just on your spiritual path.
Let's put it like it was a part of the strategy. So it was not a part of the strategy. So it's not something that, you know, something bad happened and I don't know what to do. So no, I was just, you know, I had lack of satisfaction in some areas and I was touching these areas through spiritual practices. So it was part of my way.
But this is very helpful. Like, you know, when you hear a real experience, it kind of makes you really wonder. My next question is to Colonel Bedi. Colonel Bedi, like, there's so many people who also have talked about like coming out of regression therapy, like feeling not so great, or what are have there been negative experiences people when they went through past life regression? Have they come out more damaged than before? I know you've seen more positive outcomes, but have there been those rare instances where, you know, it didn't it kind of left a person somewhere where they shouldn't have been?
I have not encountered any such incident ever. In my practice, I've never, and neither have I read about it anywhere. Now, when you're going into your past life, it is like you have to now, the route is through your subconscious mind. You have to connect with your subconscious, and then the subconscious is the doorway towards your soul. And the experiences that your soul has got is there through your subconscious for you to experience it. Now, your soul knows everything. It has the experience of the entire Brahman. It knows everything. It is just that we are not aware of it. Because if we were aware of all our past lives, in one go, we'd go mad, we'd go crazy, and we'd not be able to do what we are here to do. So whenever you're going to approach through your subconscious into your higher self and into your soul journey, there's only positive that's going to come out. Absolutely only positive that's going to come out. It can never, and there is a dynamics, there's certain laws that by which you are governed, the universal laws. And the universal laws very clearly state that anything that is happening to us, the divine has given us the strength, the ability, and the capability to overcome any challenges that come my way. Otherwise, that challenge will not come my way. I have the ability to overcome it. And this is a therapy which gives me that sense and makes me realize that I am capable to overcome any problem that comes my way.
So then the practitioner doesn't matter. Like, are there some practitioners who maybe are not seasoned enough or don't lack the experience, that can that lead to something going wrong or not really?
Oh, absolutely. So practitioners have to be seasoned, have to be experienced. Otherwise, it can. But the subconscious also, see, it's an all-knowing. It has the amount of knowledge and the wisdom that subconscious has. It will not allow any damage to come in, even if it is a bad practitioner. The only thing will happen is that the person will come out of a trance.
Okay.
And it will not get into any. So absolutely do not worry on that score. It's absolutely safe.
Okay.
And even with a bad practitioner, no, nothing bad is going to happen to you. It's only that the results might not come the way they want, the way you want them to come.
Meeta, I know you've been wanting to ask.
Bad
Meeta, unmute yourself.
I am on, I'm not on mute, I'm unmuted. Can you hear me?
Now we can hear you.
Yeah. So Colonel Bedi, a bad practitioner can take you to a lot of suffering, because I have done past life, and thankfully, so it shakes you. It shakes you a lot. You ask a lot of questions. It took me more than 6 months to settle down, settle back in my life. So my question is, in this book, Catherine had a lot of suffering in all her lives. What was it that you had to suffer so many lives to have a good life? I couldn't understand that.
Okay. So now coming to the experience that you had with the bad practitioner, and it took you 6 months for you to then get back on track. My answer to this is that it was supposed to happen that way. That bad practitioner came into your life only to ensure that you go through that 6 months of a phase in life where you then, once overcome that phase, have overcome it permanently. All of that, what is happening to us, everything is happening for a reason. There are no accidents. In the night, when we look up into the stars, we see all the stars there in absolute synchronicity with each other. That is the way our life is also. There's no accidents, absolutely no accidents. And everything that is happening for a reason, for a purpose. And for you, I am convinced that the reason was that you had to go through that phase. It's a cleansing phase. It's a phase. All challenges are cleansing phases. It's something that makes you a better human being, and you come out much wiser.
No, that is true. That is true. So, but why did she go through so much of a pain?
So see, what happens is, there is, like when I was reading that phrase, I talked and I laid emphasis on the decision part of it. So there is a free will and there's a decision. The divine, the source who we call whatever names we have, such a beautiful thing he's done is, when we say that without his concurrence, even a leaf will not move. Nothing can happen without his acceptance. Yet, there are so many bad things happening around the world. What he has done is, he, keeping everything in his control, has given us one thing, which, in spite of keeping everything in control, he's given us all the control. And that one thing is the free will. The free will to take decisions. When I take a decision for myself, I become responsible for myself. Anything that is happening to me, I am responsible because I am the one who has taken that decision. I am responsible. And that free will, when it allows me to take decisions, so I decide to go either this way or that way. And there will always be a time in my life where I have to be either yes or no. There will never be a dead end. There will never be a dead wall in front of me. Never, never. There will always be a path which will give me either to a yes or to a no. Always.
So looking at Catherine,
no.
Yeah, she suffered a lot in all life. So it scares you that itna zyada pain if you have to go through in any of the life. Is it worth cleansing one life to cleanse so many lives?
So then finally, the beauty of all of this is that all of us, each and every soul that is there, all of us, irrespective, all of us will one day merge with the light. Some sooner, some later. And to put it in perspective, all of us go through difficult lives, extremely difficult lives. We don't remember them now. We are here in this stage where everything is so beautiful for us. But we have gone through stages which has made this beautiful life possible for us today. We have gone through all of that. We have to experience all lives, whether it's a life of a criminal, of a police guy, of a whore, of a person who's been raped, or a person who rapes, a person who is a king, a pauper, a beggar. We have to go through all lives. That is why when we say when you look at a statue, and the most beautiful statue, where once we cross that statue and we look at that statue and say, my God, the most beautiful statue I've ever seen in my life, our life, when the chiseling happens, the pain happens, we come out a soul which is so beautiful, where at times people just stand and say, wow, it was so beautiful just being with you, just sitting with you. You don't want to say anything, but just being with you has been the most beautiful experience. And we all reach that stage one day.
I understand. I know what you are saying. I know it. So, but we have many questions here. Sujata, you want to take it? So
Yes,
when I get a chance, and I'll ask again. So let's ask these questions.
Sure. So next question is by Prerna. Can we unmute her? I think that's
Hello.
Hi, Prerna. How are you?
How are you? I'm good. I'm very good.
Please go ahead.
It's pleasure. Yeah, my question to sir is, I have been a reader of Dr. Brian Weiss, and almost all the books I've read. I've undergone past life regressions also. Now, your subconscious mind, when it plays, it teaches you a lot of moral values and ethicals, and it also is influenced by the biases and the prejudices that you face in life because of your conditioning, of your belief system. Now, sometimes there are certain situations in which your own subconscious mind gets in conflict with your physical mind. And you're not able to understand that what is right and what is wrong at a certain stage. When you have to exercise your free will, you definitely would like to do something which is right. But sometimes that play is so great that you are just totally confused. You don't know what to do. What is the right take on a certain thing? Is it my karma, or is it I'm going through a certain lesson that I need to learn patience? Or is it a karma that I need to get proactive and voice and assert myself? These are, like, we have been talking about women empowerment. We've been talking about the daily problems that women face in life. So this is one question. I would like some insight from Colonel Vedi on that. If you could, help me with this.
Yes, Prerna, that's a very pertinent question, because we consider that the conscious mind is really the mind that is making us work, whereas really it's the subconscious mind. And the programming of the subconscious mind really defines how we function in our day-to-day life, or how we handle situations. And if the programming in our present life is such that it goes not as per our plan, or not as it should be, then definitely there are times where we get into a mindset, whether is this right or wrong, whether should I be taking the right decision, is this the right decision or not, and we tend to take wrong decisions. Just giving a point in example is that a small boy, there are two boys who take birth, one in a rich family, one in a poor family. The boy in the rich family is being conditioned in a fashion where the mother is got self-doubt. She's she doesn't have self-confidence, and she's questioning everything. She's not happy. Whereas a poor boy who has hardly anything to eat, but the mother is a highly confident mother. She says, my son is the best son. He can achieve anything that he wants in the world. And once they both grow up, the son in the rich family is a subdued guy who's full of self-doubt, apprehensions, not able to move ahead. Now, that is the conditioning of the subconscious mind. And our learning in this life, like I told you, the life is chosen by us. And the challenges that come in our life are challenges that we have chosen. And we have to, through our understanding, overcome these challenges. Now, that's very important, to first identify these challenges that are there and overcome these challenges. As I was saying, that nothing is an accident. So we have to get into a stage where we start understanding. Now, I understand that it does not happen where we feel that I don't know whether this is right or wrong. Now, that's absolutely fine, because a soul is also in a stage of evolution. Now, a class 2 a child cannot be taught class 10 or graduate level studies, will not be able to understand.
Right.
It's absolutely fine. For a soul is also in a stage of maturity. It could be a new soul, it could be an infant soul, or it could be a matured soul. So as these challenges come, the soul, these are all experiences, learnings that the soul is imbibing in itself. Nothing is going waste. And even if you take a wrong decision, the soul is learning. That wrong decision is making that soul learn. And there will be a time when that learning will fructify into finally you taking the right decision. So have faith in the system that the divine has set for us, and do not worry too much about what if I take a wrong decision. Take a decision and move ahead. Let the learnings come in. Let you imbibe those learnings inside you. It's only going to be good in the end.
Beautifully said. Beautifully said. Thank you so much, Prerna. So next question is from Tina. Can we unmute Tina? Tina, go ahead. Tina is still muted. Can we? Okay, go ahead, Tina.
Hello. So I've never really experienced past life regression for myself in the past, but it's a deeply fascinating subject. And my question is, so I saw Catherine was born poor throughout her lifetimes, and she was always serving other people with all her heart and soul. So how does this figure into our current scenario, where you don't know if you were rich or poor in your past life, and you keep on working? What if you were poor in your past life and you keep on working, like they say, the proverbial Kolu ka bell? Is it going to change anything? How are you going to, factor that in? Do you understand my question?
Yes, I do understand your question, that if you keep working and working and working, and finally you don't know whether you're going to get the results or not.
Yeah.
Yep. So, Tina, my suggestion is, and my advice is, that you having this question that you're working and you're not getting the results, is you personally have this doubt in you that you have been really putting something into whatever you're doing, and you have really given everything into it, and yet the results are not as expected by you. So this personally would be a problem that you might be facing in your present life.
True.
Now, when you are doing something, and you're doing something with the aim that you have to achieve something, it is important for you to realize that what you're doing is a karma. What you have decided to take on as a challenge in your life is a karma. And you have to continue to do that till such time that karma is not resolved. And that once that karma is resolved, automatically you will start seeing the results. Now, it could be a lesson. Now, when you're doing a karma is really, you're learning a lesson. That is when you're overcoming a karma. So here, what could be, I don't know about your situation, it could be where you're not able to forgive somebody, or you're not able to show gratitude to somebody. If you do something, people also do something to you. You get at times too self-centered. There could be where you're not able to reciprocate in a fashion. Or also, when you give to somebody, you also have to be able to receive. And you don't receive, but you only give. So it could be a lesson that now's the time for you to receive. I'll give you an example of a past life regression I did. It's a very profound example that I have here. Of a girl, her parents brought this girl to me, and she was a young, beautiful girl, about 21, 22. And the parents told me that she has lost interest in life. She doesn't want to do anything, and she's a very sad girl. Can you help her out? And when I spoke to her, she said that there's nothing for me to live. I said, you love your parents, of course. She said, no, they're doing their duty and I'm doing my duty. Even if I leave my life now, I'm absolutely fine, because there's nothing for me to look forward to. And when I did a regression, it came out that she was in Mysore in a church, in a circus, where she was a clown, and she was discarded. She was rejected. She was all throughout rejected. She wanted to contribute, but she was rejected. Nobody, even minor things that she did, was recognized or looked at. In this life, she was the second child of her parents. The mother didn't want her. There was a debate between her father and her mother. The father insisted that we want her, or we will keep her. And once she was born, she was rejected. Rejected in the womb. Once she was born, the mother was a working mother, and she already had a child which was a couple of years elder to her. So she gave the younger child who was just born to her mother, the grandmother of this child, and she was brought up by the mother, by the grandmother, rejected by the mother in the womb and when she was in the physical state. She was so good in her work. She was so good. She represented India in lawn tennis. She was in the junior Indian team. She went to Australia with the Indian team. Whatever she touched she was a fantastic instrument player. She was topping the class. Any subject that she taught, she studied, she would be absolutely good at it. The teachers, she would in fact take off the teachers. She was too good for the students, her peers, who kept her away because she was too good for them. She was rejected by the teachers. She was rejected because she used to take them off. She was rejected by the student. She was rejected all this while. And in that regression, when this came out very clearly, and I told her that it's rejection that you need to learn. And today, I asked her to make a bucket list. In her bucket list, number 3 point is, wants to get invited by the White House, by the president of the USA. She's in America right now. And she says that she wants to, once she leaves this body, she wants to be a legend when she leaves this body. Wow. Because she learned the lesson of rejection. She understood what rejection, and she accepted rejection. She accepted those people who rejected her.
Wow.
So she had a very difficult life, extremely difficult life. But once she accepted it, now you meet her. She's a glowing, wonderful person, full of life energy.
So that's very beautifully said. So I have another question for you, like forgiving people, right? Sometimes they say it takes a lifetime to forgive someone, and sometimes many lifetimes, like I'm figuring out. So when we don't forgive someone, or we have a tough time, we've experienced extreme cruelty at the hands of someone, and we keep getting tortured till the time that we leave this world from that cruelty. So what is, like, tell us a little bit about forgiveness and why it's important.
Okay. Now let me tell you. When the book also said, and I have also experienced it, is when we take this life and when we decide on the challenges, our angels, our guides, our higher masters, our higher soul, all of them, whatever you want to call them, and there are a whole lot of people there who are helping us right now. They are right there. They're helping us. They are guiding us. They are with us. Now, once we decide on our life and the difficulties that will come in between, so it is the situations and the people who create life difficult for us. Now we have to forgive those people and the situation. Now the people, I'll now come to people, because forgiving people. Now, when we are in the spirit world, and we now start working out on the life that we are going to be leading, so we start meeting people and we say, okay, the most difficult relationship, by the way, is the mother-in-law and the daughter-in-law. The most difficult relationship, and they're the ones who give most.
Maybe that is highlighted way more than any other.
No, it is a fact. It is there. It is there. Okay. So now, you would go to the person who's closest to you when you tell that person, can you please be my boss? Can you please be that person who's going to give me that hate? Can you please be that person who's going to make life so difficult for me that it's going to be really difficult for me to live my life. It's going to be most tough for me to lead that life. So the obstacles that are going to come in my way, can you be the person to give me those obstacles?
Coming back to forgiveness, like why is it so important? Just do tell us a little briefly, like why is it so important to come to forgiveness?
Yes, I was coming to that.
Okay.
So those people then come here into your life who are very close to you, but here they are now they are there because you need to learn to forgive. Now, when these people are there who's creating life difficult for you, and you are not able to forgive them, if you go into a past life and you see that you have yourself done the same thing to somebody else, now to nullify that karma that you have created by doing something bad to somebody, now if you need to nullify that, you need to be forgiving them. You need to be overcoming that karma. And if you're not able to forgive, that karma will come back into you, probably in a bigger fashion in your next life.
Okay. And beautifully said. Thank you so much for answering that. It was a big question in my mind. So next is Karthik. Can we unmute Karthik, please? We would like, also Colonel Bedi would like to get as many answers to a lot. We have a lot of audience waiting to hear from you. They have so many questions for you. You're really popular here with our audience today. So let's try to get as many people in today. Karthik.
Yes.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you doing, sir?
Great. Thank you so much. Great.
So, sir, my question to you is, as we have mentioned many a times in the book as well, the doctor has mentioned that the soul keeps on changing the bodies after birth. So my question to you is, what do you think would be the origin of that soul? What is the basic source from where that entity comes from? And what is the master entity that controls this cycle of births?
Okay. So now, again, a very interesting question, because when I was with my guru, who happens to be Shri M, and when I was in a discussion with him, and I asked him this question: why is it? And it's a question that came to my mind. Why is it that God has first created us, and He's putting us through the paces where, and empowering us, making us so powerful, where He gives us so much power that we are then ready to merge with the light? So my question to him was that why is He doing all of this to us? Why is He first making us, giving us birth, and then from an infant soul to a soul who is so powerful? Why is He making us do that? Why is He then merging us into Himself? Does He want to become more powerful? Are there many gods? Are they in war with each other? Are they in competition with each other? So why is He doing all of this? So his question to me, his answer to me was that in a forest, if there is a hunter, he fires an arrow at the deer, and that arrow comes and hits you. So what are you going to do first? Are you going to remove that arrow, or are you going to run after that hunter? He said, of course, I'll remove the arrow. Yeah. That's your. He said, yes. At the moment, remove the arrow. There will be a time when the arrow is removed and you'll be able to, and that arrow is not going to hurt you, and you will be able to run after the hunter and get the answer. So there will be a time. So there are stages. Now, our grants also say this, though this is not mentioned in this book, but our grants also say that there are 84 lakh lives before we take a human's life. I have had this experience in my regressions that I do with people, and when they go into the life between lives, and when they contact with the so-called masters, it's very clearly come out that there are 84 lakh lives. Before we become a human being, we have to go through the lives of no cell, of a stone, through one cell, multi-cell, a complex cell, cellular body. And we are made to experience lives. And finally, we come to a stage where we are in close proximity with humans. That is the time when we are prepared, being prepared to take a human's life. Animals which are in close proximity with humans, we start exhibiting human behavior, emotions. That is the time that soul is ready to become a human being. So the soul is first prepared to become a human being, and he goes through all of that. And a time will come when you will also get the answer to why this journey. There will be a time. I personally do not know the answer.
All right, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Sir, one more question I would like to put, if I do have your permission.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah. So, sir, some years earlier, I read a book that was written by a prominent psychologist. Sadly, she passed away in 2016. she used to practice in California, and her name was Dr. Edith Fury. So she wrote a book named as Encounters. So this question of mine is somewhat not related to our usual discussion. This topic is what we don't bring up about, but she wrote the book and she explained about 14 case studies of hypnotic age regressions where people claim that they have had an encounter with extraterrestrial beings in the same lifetime. So how can we explain that event, sir?
Yes. See, Earth is one plane. There are many planes like Earth. And let me tell you that Earth is one of the most difficult schools. So there are many such planets where souls are there. And we do keep we have a lot of people who have been born in a certain planet or in a certain constellation, or who've been somewhere else and then they come to Earth. So we have such people who do, and it happens, it definitely. So we are all souls. It's all a creation. The source is one, and the creation is his. So the souls keep moving around. Souls keep moving around. So that's a fact. That is a reality. There are many planets, many souls in those planets also, and there are interactions that keep happening.
Thank you so much, Karthik, for joining, for asking the question. You know, actually, a lot of people from our audience are asking, like, they're considering past life regression. How do they even start, and how do they go about it? What are the things they need to
go to a therapist, a past life regressionist?
And that's as simple as that. Any preparation, any how can they?
It would be quite worth the while to get into a meditation practice. Start a meditation of even if you don't want to follow anyone, even self meditation through YouTube, guided meditations through YouTube. Start getting those meditations. Start being with yourself. Start connecting with yourself. Sit with yourself for a little while, without trying to keep away all the external noises away. Try to be in solitude with yourself. That would help in regression. Definitely, people who meditate are much easier and better subjects to me.
Yeah, and despite being a centered, focused person, or like somebody who's been in that state, people fail to go into past life, but they still feel there have been changes in their life, or they've had other visions, maybe not about themselves, but they go through some other experiences.
Yes. So that is hypnotherapy. If you're not going to a past life, so that is hypnotherapy.
Okay, so that's
hypnosis, and it's a connection with the subconscious, and any connection with the subconscious is always highly beneficial. Any connection with the subconscious is highly beneficial, always and every time.
Wonderful.
Sujata, we have a lot of questions. Can we quickly ask Colonel Bedi to answer in one lines, because we only have 10-15 minutes. We're already shooting the time.
Sure.
Okay, I'll be as crisp and short as I can.
Colonel Bedi, we cannot ignore anybody. There are a lot of questions, so just how many we can answer quickly.
Absolutely.
All right. Okay.
They all are waiting patiently.
I know everybody's been really patient. So next we have Sangeeta Kuti. Can we unmute Sangeeta Kuti, please?
Hello, sir. Good evening.
Sangeeta, are you?
Yeah, I can listen to you.
Okay, please go ahead with your question.
Yeah. Hello, sir. Good evening. Thank you so much for this session. I have a question, like as you told about karma. So in regarding that, the same. So and further, in such a case, our karma may have some way or the other affected someone else. So does the soul also decide who we are going to meet in the present life? And if so, can I right now also decide to forgive the people in my present life so that I don't have to meet them in my next life?
Absolutely. You do meet people who you already, it's all destiny, it's predestined. So we do decide because of a free will, but the destiny doesn't change. The circumstances come to us in some form or the other, and they come with people, and those people will keep coming to us, and those people are coming for a reason. If you want to dissociate yourself from those people, They will come in some other form or some other fashion. A similar type of people will come to you. You have to, if they are there, you have to overcome the issues that are there with those people. Bypassing them will only make it difficult for you, if not in this life, in your future lives. All challenges have to be met head on, chest on. Only then can you make your life better in the future.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Hi, Damini, can you unmute the next questioner? So, Colonel Bedi, can you please explain a little bit more about the masters and the messages that they give? Something really brief.
Yes, like I was saying that we do not come here in this body in our entirety. We have, it's all energy, and energy is limitless. So we are also really energy. Our body is also energy. Our physical form is also energy. We all emit energy. Everything is energy, and the energy is limitless. It cannot be destroyed. So when we come here, we are coming here, we decide what we want, we decide what we want to do, and that is helped by the masters. So they are the ones who are really helping us move a certain path, guiding us in a certain path. They're only guiding us, they're supporting us. Their hands are there on the left or right, so we don't, if you deviate, so they try and bring us back here. So the masters are very much there, our guides, our higher soul, the higher energies, which are very much there, and they are there to help us and to guide us, very much there. And it's important that through our subconscious we connect with them. Very important.
Wonderful, wonderful. So
they're waiting for us to connect with them. Yes, next question, please.
Next we have Sonali. Sonali?
Yes, hi. Thank you, Mr. Bedi, for this session. My question was that, sometimes in this life, you have a very strong connection, say, to a place or to a person. Like, it's a connection which is not normal. Like, it's from the soul, and you know that it's a very deep connection. Does that mean that because you have such a deep connection to that person or to that place in this life, you do have, that means that person or place was connected with you in the past life? Is that some kind of an indication?
There is a karmic connection, definitely. If you feel so strongly about it, there is a karmic connection, most definitely. And if you have in a place, a deja vu kind of a thing, or you feel very strongly about a certain place, there is some connection with you with that place. Definitely. It could be with the energies, or it could be with that place related to past life. Quite possible. There are big chance of it being from a past life. And people, if you're connected with people, so the concept is that there are, we'll dwell on it sometime later when there is time. So there is a soul group, there are soulmates, and the connection with them is definitely much stronger than with the others.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Next we have Mamta Ravishankar. Can we bring her on, please? Mamta?
Hi, I'm Mamta here. It's a wonderful session. Thank you for all the answers. My question was answered by somebody on the panel. So can I ask another one, please?
Most welcome. Go ahead, please. That's why we are here.
Okay. What I wanted to ask was, when this world began, there were few people. The amount of population was not this much. So we are all born to, reach realization. Now that the amount of people, the population is increasing so much, does it mean to say that we're not reaching realization and we're just getting stuck in the same world and coming back again and again? And how is the population increasing so much?
So there is a concept of soul splitting and one soul having in many bodies. So there is a concept of that.
Okay.
So it'll take time for me to explain all of that.
Okay.
Suffice to say that firstly, there are many planets and souls out there in plentiful. The answer which I gave earlier to one of the questions was that why birth and why this entire cycle? The right time will come for us to understand all of that. as also the souls. That there is another thought process which is there, which I quite resonate with, is that with the increased population, there is a lot of hardships that people are facing. Now, when people are facing a lot of hardships, that is also a sign that people have asked for it, and people want to get into a stage of moksha, and they want to fast track it, and they want that difficult life. They want to go through the hardships of that life so that they are able to evolve much faster. That could also be a reason that there are so many people who want to, and suddenly there will be a time when there is absolute calm, peace, quiet, happiness. Everything is so wonderful around us. And let me assure you, I've had this experience, and I've had multiple people telling me this in my regressions. That time is sooner rather than later, probably in our own lifetimes. Now, I'd not like to go on further on that because it will take too much time. But suffice to say, that time is going to come sooner rather than later.
Thank you.
So my goodness, it looks like we have so many more questions, but we're almost out of time. So Colonel Bedi, a quick takeaway of, like, it was such a beautiful session. This could have gone on for hours. So please tell us, like, if there's a quick takeaway, and then we'd like to close this book club today.
So, yes, we have to realize that everything happening around us is perfect. Everything is perfect. There are no accidents happening around us. The only way to move forward is to be positive. Try and resolve as much karma as we can. Anything that does not resonate with my consciousness will tell me, please try and avoid it. Take care of your health, because your body is the only thing that is going to help you with your soul evolve. So body is that means. Take care of your health. The coronavirus is there for a purpose. This pandemic is there for a purpose. We need to overcome this pandemic. And that is by taking care of ourselves, as also do good for others. Give, help others. Gratitude, forgiveness. These are the only emotions that will take us forward. Only emotions that can take us forward. And we must resonate in the frequency of these emotions.
Thank you so much. That was, I think, a wonderful session. I'm going to go back and listen to it again because every piece of advice from you was so wonderful. So thank you so much, Colonel Bedi. Thank you, Andre. Thank you, Abhibindu. Thank you to all the participants who joined us today. And this book club was a big success because all of you guys made it. And Sipping Thoughts, we host a book club every month. We will let you know when what our next book is going to be. Please write to us what you would like us to pick and for our next book club. Message us or write on comment section below. We'll see you next time around. Thank you all for joining us again. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you so much.